The takeout boxes sat half-finished between them, steam curling up like tired ghosts. Isabella Lopez, better known now as Nurse Mystic, leaned back on the creaky floor of her old elementary school, now a renovated home she was renting. Outside, the wind rustled the leaves like they were gossiping. Inside, the lights flickered once, twice. The temperature dropped a good 10 degrees in 2 seconds flat. Alyssa paused mid-noodle slurp. Okay, I just got full-body goosebumps, and I swear I felt a cold draft. Did you leave a window open? Or are we haunted again? Isabella exhaled slowly through her nose, staring at her fortune cookie like it had too much to say. You always know the right times to be assertive or to simply wait, she read aloud. Then she added, Damn, even the cookies are giving advice now. Another flicker. This time the ceiling light buzzed like it was trying to whisper a warning. I know, Isabella said louder, like someone was eavesdropping from the walls. Can we have a minute to digest? Maybe contemplate my damn cookie? A beat passed. Then Alyssa's head tilted. Do you smell that? Sweet, Isabella replied, but her voice had changed, like she already knew what it meant. Not incense, not flowers. Smells like well-done glazed donuts. She stood slowly, eyes narrowing. Okay, I know which graveyard now. You can stop haunting my dinner. As if on cue, the old radio in the corner flicked itself on. No power cord, no station. Hey there, gals and ghouls. It's a perfect, clear night out there. The moon may be waning, but it's a damn fine evening for a little saunce, don't you think? Isabella rolled her eyes. Ugh. I heard you the first time, Mom. Her mom's graveyard always smelled like donuts. Old habit. It sat right behind the Krispy Kreme that used to be a gas station in the 90s. Her dad's graveyard, separate, of course, divorced even in death, smelled like oil and overgrown grass. She avoided his side of town unless she absolutely had to. Tonight, they walked the winding path behind the donut shop, passing the flickering security lights and an ancient wooden fence, sagging with time. Isabella carried her mom's old brooch in her hand, warm from her pocket. It pulsed faintly, just enough to say, I'm listening. They lit 3 tea lights. Drew a soft chalk circle. Alyssa offered a quietly muttered joke about this town needing a full-time ghost therapist. The brooch shimmered, and Isabella's mother began to appear. Fuzzy at first, like static on a TV screen, then clearer. Spectral but solid in attitude. You're looking thin, her mom said flatly. You never come by. You never eat. And when are you giving me grandkids? Isabella groaned. Hi, Mom. Nice to see you. Yes, I'm eating. No, I'm not pregnant. Alyssa snorted. God, this town. You can't even have a haunting without family pressure. She reached out toward another ghost nearby, an older man with deep-set eyes and a weeping collarbone. But the moment her fingers grazed the mist, the ghost screamed. A flash of pain lit its form like lightning. It vanished with a cry that echoed longer than it should have. Everything fell still. Whispers began from the others. She's dangerous. She's one of those. She can hurt us. She could end us. Isabella stepped forward, protective. Hey, she didn't mean to. She's new to all this. But the oldest spirit, a crooked woman with cemetery moss on her shawl, nodded solemnly. A healer like her can erase what's already dead. That kind of power doesn't belong to just anyone. Alyssa stood frozen, hands still outstretched. I didn't mean to. I just thought I could touch them like energy. They called you because something's wrong, Isabella said quietly, looking around. Right? The ghosts murmured. Her mom nodded. They're locking us in. Every night. Someone's chaining the gates with salt and iron. Sage smoke on the wind. It burns when we try to pass. And whoever it is, another spirit chimed in, they toss their trash in the same bin near the east wall. Same spot every time. Isabella looked at Alyssa. Want to go dumpster diving for clues? Alyssa grimaced. This is definitely above minimum wage haunting work. They walked the path to the old trash can under the pine tree. Isabella didn't even need to dig. A single half-full bag sat there, reeking of sage, salt packets, and something way too lemony. Stamped on the side of the bag in smug red foil, Heaven and Hell Club. We serve both sides. End of Act 1. From the outside, the Heaven and Hell Club looked like any overhyped downtown spot. Neon wings above the entryway, velvet rope, bass vibrations in the concrete. But once inside, the split hit hard. Down the center of the building, invisible but absolute, the theme cut like a surgical line. To the left, glowing heaven, cool blue lights, cloud-painted ceilings, angelic bartenders in silk robes with halos that shimmered when they moved. To the right, hell, red lights, flickering candelabras, exposed brick and wrought iron. Demon waitstaff in dark vests and horns, some with glittered skin or split-color makeup like they'd been painted for battle. The oval bar sat dead center, shared by both realms but divided by decor. One side served wine spritzers with basil garnishes, the other had drinks literally on fire. "I want a flaming margarita," Alyssa said, sliding up to the bar. The bartender, angel wings, glowing contacts, and an immaculate beard, smiled without showing teeth. "You need to be on the hell side for that." Alyssa raised a brow. "I'm sorry?" "Flaming drinks are a hell side item," he replied, nodding down the bar. "You're technically still in heaven. Rules are rules. I'm supposed to call over the demons and have them drag you across for making that mistake, but I'm feeling generous." Alyssa looked to her left. The hell side was 3 feet away, but the path wasn't direct. She had to turn, walk 4 steps around a curled brass railing, duck past a curtain of hanging chains, and then reapproach the same bar, but now bathed in red light, as heavy bass kicked in from the demon DJ across the room. "You people are insane," she muttered, but she made the loop. Back at the bar, on the hell side now, her margarita came with a slow spiral of fire curling from its rim. It hissed like a warning. She was halfway through her first sip when it happened. 2 figures approached. A man and a woman. Model beautiful, with skin like polished eggshell blue. Their outfits shimmered faintly, hard to look at for too long. Even the light around them seemed softened. They spoke in perfect alternation, as if rehearsed. "Hello," the man said. "You are invited," the woman continued, "to see the boss," he finished. The path wasn't direct. Nothing in this club ever was. They were led around the dance floor, past velvet ropes and dancers caught in some haze of ecstasy and body heat. They passed private lounge tables, then above the DJ booth, then back behind the floor to a winding staircase that circled up toward the suspended bar chamber above everything. No one glanced twice. Not the angels. Not the demons. The boss's chambers were known, but not understood. The higher they climbed, the more surreal it became. Some rooms looked like offices, others like confession booths or interrogation cells turned into VIP lounges. All of them were used. Glasses left out, napkins with numbers. A half-burned candle still warm. The final room sat in blue light, soft, not clinical. Fog moved through it like breath. It steamed against the windows even though there were no vents. Just mist and calm and pressure. Isabella stopped short. She held one arm in front of Alyssa like a mother halting her kid before a crosswalk. "This room's not for rookies," she whispered. Then, quieter. "That's not fog, kid." "I'm 23, Alyssa said, brushing past Isabella's arm. "I had a joint the other day. I can handle a little smoke." Isabella gave her a sidelong look. "Yeah, okay. No driving today. Let's go see him." The room was thick with blue fog, like stepping into a dream you couldn't fully wake from. The light was soft, but the pressure in the air was real, like a low hum in your chest, like something important was about to happen but hadn't decided when. Saint Switch was already there, tall, thin, cloaked in an aura of effortless calm. He didn't sit. He just existed, leaned back in a chair that might have been floating or just too smoky to see the legs. Smoke coiled off his body in steady streams. No blunt, no pipe, no source. Just there. "Hey," he said, voice smooth as baseline butter. "I was told a neutral was in the building." He smiled at Isabella. "And a new guild leader at that. So a peer, in a sort of way." He gestured vaguely around the glowing chamber. "Look around. Maybe you can build up to all this one day." Isabella stepped forward, eyes calm but sharp. "We're looking for info. Someone's using your club's bags, and I'm guessing your kitchen's salt and sage too. They're locking up graveyards. Ghosts are being trapped. One of them's my mom. I don't sleep until this stops." Saint Switch tilted his head, still exhaling fog with no fire. He nodded slowly. "I don't use ghosts," he said. "I got my own ways of finding information. You feel me?" He paused, closed his eyes. The room somehow got quieter, as if even the fog held its breath. Then finally, I'm sensing something." Alyssa started coughing, lightly at first, then hard, like something in the air was grabbing her lungs. She waved it off and stumbled out the room. Isabella stayed focused. Switch opened his eyes, looked at his watch. It seems my later half told the manager to handle things, said it was a temporary fix. Why would he need to block the graveyards? Isabella asked. Switch smiled but didn't answer. That's for him to tell you. Alyssa rejoined her outside the chamber, wiping her eyes. Yeah, I'm fine now. You were right, strong stuff in that room. I didn't even see a flame, but the smoke just radiated off him. My eyes were watering so much I walked into the men's bathroom by accident. Isabella blinked. You serious? Yeah, Alyssa said, laughing. Didn't see anything, just even the bathrooms are themed. Hellside has a fake back alley vibe. Heavens? All gold tile and scented mist. Honestly, it's super nice. Isabella smirked. Come on, let's get another drink. Then we talk to whoever gave the green light on ghost jailing. Back at the bar, now clearly on the red side, Isabella strutted up with a big grin. She looked down like a proud student turning in her homework. See? I'm on the right side this time. I follow rules too. She tapped the bar. Can I order a flaming margarita? Oh wait, sorry, I mean... Flash, red, blue, flash, red, red, blue. The mirrors spun, the lights flickered, and just like that, heaven and hell flipped. Isabella stared at her surroundings, now bathed in blue light. She blinked, then slowly turned back to the bartender, locking eyes. I mean 2, she said, deadpan shaking her head. 2 flaming margaritas. The bartender smirked. So, 2 flaming margaritas from the hell side. But you're in heaven now? Yes, please. He grinned wider. Got it! Hey! Demons! We got a couple on the wrong side over here. 4 demons in full makeup came through the crowd like it was choreographed. One of them pointed. Found some demons in heaven. Another added, that's against the rules. Wrong side. Wrong side. The demons gently but dramatically dragged the 2 women around the long way back to the hellside, through the chains, around the velvet rope, past 3 confused tourists and a dancer with a light-up tail. Isabella looked annoyed but composed. Alyssa, laughing the whole damn way. Let me know when... After a few more minutes of drinks, hallway flirtations, and one very short detour where Alyssa tried to pet a mirror thinking it was a stray cat, they started asking around. It didn't take long. Everyone pointed the same direction. Spike. He was hard to miss. Blue spikes, arched off his shoulders like stylized armor. Not hair, but bone, or maybe something in between. Assistant manager of Heaven and Hell for going on longer than anyone wanted to guess. Always chill, always half-working. They spotted him mid-conversation with 3 different staff members, all of whom looked like they were technically on break. Yeah, Spike was saying, scratching behind one spike absent-mindedly. Start a rotation on breaks, but make sure Dots goes after you. What? Sure, said one of them, shrugging. If you think we need it. Your guess is as good as mine, Spike muttered. Let the bar know. Another staffer leaned in, clipboard in hand. Should the VIPs be down by the dance floor tonight? You know, in the party instead of above it? Spike shrugged. I really don't care. But let me know how it goes. That's when Isabella cut in, arms crossed, smirking. I see you're still the strictest demon boss in the building. Spike looked up and broke into a lopsided grin. Issy, when the manager position opened up a while back, they asked if I wanted to drop the assistant part. I still think about it sometimes. Mostly when I'm feeling low. Alyssa, sipping something red and dangerous, chimed in. No use living in regret, big guy. Regret? Spike leaned back and laughed, a full, warm, demon-sized laugh. Nah, I use it to cheer up. I imagine myself as the full manager of this place, dealing with every question, every emergency, every drunk angel asking where the karaoke stage went. He shivered dramatically. All that power? Nope. That's how you ruin a good gig. Isabella chuckled. What? You don't like scheduling? Ha! Spike barked. It's not the scheduling, it's the questions, the drama, the favoritism. I'm a demon, Issy, but I'm not evil. Alyssa raised an eyebrow. But if you were in charge, couldn't you make it better? Make it better? Spike tilted his head. That sounds like one of those brainfire videos no one's ever seen, not my style. Just then, an angel and a demon walked by holding hands and flirting like teenagers at a school dance. Spike called out casually without even looking. Why don't you 2 try working your own sides for a change? Earn some tips instead of swapping spit. They giggled, waved, and half-seriously peeled off to their respective sides. Spike turned back, chuckling. See? That's management. Isabella smiled. You're not wrong. But no, I'm not here to drop off your spike cream, though I do have a new batch coming in. Spike perked up. Good, 'cause I'm almost out. I was actually going to call you. My left spike is getting ashy. He rubbed it dramatically. Later, Isabella said, waving him off. Right now I need answers. Spike's tone dropped, just slightly. Still casual, but grounded. I figured. She leaned in. Switch said you'd know, about the graveyards. Someone's locking them up every night. Iron, salt, sage, the whole works. Spike didn't answer right away. He just sighed. The kind of sigh only someone who's already halfway in the middle of it lets out. Spike didn't argue. Just gave a half shrug, like someone who was used to being in the middle of decisions, but never quite owning them. I just do what I'm told, he said, gesturing toward the staircases behind the DJ booth. The path back up to the boss's chambers was different this time. They passed VIP booths, more stairs, another circle of table service, and then, above the top bar, where the fog once curled blue like incense, everything had changed. The light wasn't soft anymore. It was orange, glowing like a heat lamp turned just a little too high. No more vapor, no more calm. Switch was gone. In his place stood a demon. Broad shoulders, sleeveless vest, a bulletproof one. A giant chain swung from his neck like a trophy, letters thick and shining. D-Unit. The soft fog was gone, replaced by something heavier, air full of sweat, bass, and ambition. Around him, angels and demons counted stacks of cash, loud, barely clothed, shouting numbers over the thump of music that wasn't coming from any speaker. The room didn't hide what it was. Business. Sup, players, the demon said, not even looking up. Y'all looking salty. Isabella didn't waste time. I want to know why Switch has me doing laps around your club if you two are the ones ordering salt. 50% leaned back, arms crossed over his vest. His voice was steady, but low enough to carry weight. See, we don't talk like that. We can, but we don't. We don't share much. He lives his time. I live mine. We run the club. Alyssa tilted her head. Wait, you're the same person? You just switch places? From 11:11 to 11:11 to 11:11, he said without flinching. Every day. Twice. Half switch, Alyssa muttered. Half 50%. Makes you wonder what Cinderella was really about. Isabella rolled her eyes. Anyway, why is your club ordering salt? Switch thinks you are locking ghosts into the graveyard, including my mom, who, by the way, can still call me. So yeah, I'm gonna need this handled. 50% finally looked her in the eye. No games now. I'm not locking them in, he said. I'm keeping the feeders out. The graveyards, they're like crops to those things. Alyssa blinked. Feeders don't hang around the living. What's drawing them in? 50%'s grin was anything but friendly. Something old, he said. Something powerful is hurt or dying, and it's not on our side of town. He let the words hang, then added with a scoff, It's over on that mangy mutt's side. Alyssa's eyes lit up. Big Papa Pup, 50%ly choked on a laugh. Ha! More like mangy little mutt. He ain't right. That dude offered to take me shopping. Shopping? He shook his head. 1, I don't call anyone Papa. 2, I take my women shopping, not the other way around. Alyssa deadpanned. Okay, I'm sensing a clash of egos. Isabella cut in, voice sharp. How do you know something's hurt? That it's drawing in the feeders? 50% stopped smiling. Because it's gonna die soon, a naiad, and when she goes, the floodgates open. Let me know if location, the water bridge. The reapers moved like shadows with bones, silent, slick, and way too close to the living for comfort. But they weren't alone. Trailing behind them at a mostly safe distance were 3 goblins in oversized lab coats, each with a glowing red cross painted crookedly on their backs. One goblin was riding a scooter. Another had goggles way too big for his head. The third, 8-Ball, was their field leader, chewing something that probably wasn't food. 8-Ball grunted. New ghost just dropped, probably confused. Might still think it's Tuesday. They made their way to the site, a pedestrian underpass soaked in cold mist. A spirit hovered midair, glitching in and out of its death. 8-Ball squinted. Right, not human. Looks like, was this a deer? No, librarian. A deer, librarian. Weird combo. He tossed a rock at a reaper that got too close. Hey! Off the ectoplasm! The reaper hissed, but didn't stop. That's when 8-Ball turned to his crew. We're gonna need backup. Someone at the old folks' home. Someone at the hospital. Call in Clan Lopez medics. This one's gonna need an escort. Quick montage. Goblin medic roll call. Goblin medic number 1 slides down a linen chute at the hospital, lands in a wheelchair, and salutes. Goblin medic number 2 bursts out of a bingo closet with a nurse's tray full of pudding snacks. Ready. They meet at the graveyard gates, flanking the dear librarian ghost like tiny armored bodyguards. Reapers hiss from the shadows. The goblins raise rocks. Some scream battle cries. Some just scream. One Reaper lunges only to get blindsided by a box truck. The ghost of the Reaper itself floats up in shock. 8-Ball groans. Oh, now we gotta escort him too? The new ghost stares at his own busted body. Was that truck supposed to be there? Nope, shouted a goblin, already fitting him with a soul bib. Move it, Spooky. Scene shift. Quiet side of town. The Naiads Bridge. Beneath a mostly forgotten bridge where the water ran in slow spirals, Marge, a pale and trembling Naiad, lay half submerged. Her skin cracked like clay, her voice a trickle. Reapers circled above like vultures, waiting, not feeding. Yet. Isabella knelt beside her. She's poisoned, Nurse Mystic muttered. Smells like, what is that, baby oil? Alyssa sniffed. Yeah, that's not just mineral oil. That's the scented stuff. Lavender and lies. After a few tense moments, the answer clicked. Big Papa Pup. Final scene. The firehouse and the funk. They marched into the firehouse. The doors creaked. The hallway smelled like wet carpet and cheap dog shampoo. Ew, Alyssa said. It's the weirpug that kidnapped me. In the corner, the pug was snoring loudly, mouth open, folds trembling like sentient pudding. Don't judge him, Papa Pup said, emerging in full golden velour glory. He's got allergies, and that smell, that's natural. Isabella crossed her arms. Your natural is leaking into the Naiads River and drawing reapers. Papa Pup's eyes widened. A Naiad! Oh man, I love Naiads. They're like if mermaids were into composting. Dispose of your baby oil better, Isabella said, or ghosts are gonna start haunting your drains. Papa Pup nodded solemnly. Done. Honestly, it was mostly the boxer's fault. He's been lazy with the disposal barrels. He brightened. Though, now that you mention it, I could sell it to the Galactic Catalog as premium warm lube. A lot of weirdos out there. No offense. Alyssa squinted. Was that meant for us or yourself? Papa Pup just smiled. Tell you what, I'll build the underbridge into a whole new oasis. Clean spring water, glow rocks, little frogs, real spiritual vibes, and I'll scare off the Reapers with some stuff I've been meaning to let out anyway. A beat. You mean the pug? He blinked. Oh, no, but him too. Not his fault, though. All those folds. Cute and disgusting at the same time. The pug sneezed himself awake, then immediately fell back asleep. And someone aggressively chewing chips in the background. 8-Ball, gravely matter-of-fact. You ever throw a rock so hard it saved a life? No, well, I have. A ghost shrieking, a goblin yelling clear, and something exploding softly. I'm 8-Ball, lead field medic of Clan Lopez Neutral Medics. We're a non-aligned guild of afterlife professionals, meaning we don't care who you pray to, what realm you respawn in, or what species you are, as long as you show up ready to work. Beeping monitor, goblin snoring in background, someone whispering, Is that pudding? We're expanding our crew. Goblins? Sure. Reformed banshees? Absolutely. Freelance necromancers? We don't judge. You got a soul and decent cardio? Let's talk. You'll train with the best. Learn how to escort confused ghosts through hostile zones. Shield the dead using your living body. Throw a rock like it means something. Negotiate with reapers who are, let's just say, spiritually hangry. Demonic screech, cut off by a goblin yelling, Take the ramp. We've got open postings at the hospital, the old folks' home, nightclubs that don't technically have permits, and one cursed carousel, but we don't talk about that. Pay? Depends who you ask. Glory, purpose? Definitely. And you get your own soul-resistant vest. First come, first stitched. So if you're ready to throw down for the dead without becoming one, join us. Whisper into a glazed donut at midnight, or just leave a note behind the Heaven and Hell Club near the smoke machine. We'll find it. Jingle fades back in, now with more bass and goblin humming badly in the background. Clan Lopez, Neutral Medics. We don't ask how you died. We just help you finish the trip. Is this ghost allergic to garlic or just dramatic? The graveyard smelled like it always did. Fresh dirt, dry leaves, and faintly, impossibly, like glazed donuts. 3 goblins lay snoring in the grass nearby, one with his head inside a bucket, another wrapped in bandages he'd used as a blanket. Their makeshift medkits and empty juice boxes surrounded them like the aftermath of a very weird camping trip. Candles flickered at the edge of the old seance circle. Isabella sat cross-legged in front of the headstone with her mom's brooch clutched in one hand. The wind shifted, and the air shimmered. Her mother appeared slowly, spectral, elegant, and already judging. "You look tired," the ghost said, "and you smell like pugs." Isabella smirked. "That's because I was tired, and I do smell like pugs." Her mother crossed ghostly arms. "Let me get this straight. You've spent the last 24 hours chasing down reapers, redirecting ghosts, yelling at demons in bulletproof vests, and now I find out it was all because Big Papa Pup's emotionally unstable fire dogs were dumping baby oil into a sacred river." "Pretty much. Typical. Honestly, that entire side of town has needed a pressure wash since the 80s. Isabella laughed softly, letting the quiet stretch. Then her mother's tone shifted, softer but still dry. "I heard about the apprentice." "Alyssa?" Isabella looked over at her, asleep on a bench with one hand still holding a melted drink. "She's got potential. Attitude, too." Her mom nodded, lips pursed. "Can't say I'm not proud. My daughter, a guild leader of a neutral party of medics, protecting the flow of death like it's a flu clinic." She glanced toward the goblins snoring in a pile. "Even if your medics are goblins who throw rocks and use themselves as ghost shields." "They work cheap," Isabella muttered, "and they mean well." A pause. "Of course," her mom added with a theatrical sigh, "you had to go and use your father's last name, Clan Lopez. Ah! The man was allergic to fresh fruit and once lost a battle to a squirrel." Isabella smiled. "Didn't seem like a good time to rebrand his clan Medina." "Well," her mother softened again, "I suppose it's fitting. Your goblins did good tonight. Escorted multiple ghosts to safety, including that poor confused reaper-turned-ghost. What a contradiction, and still trying to do his job. Haunting himself." The candles burned lower. Her mom glanced up at the sky, dark but quietly shifting with some pressure that hadn't been there before. "You know, something's still off. Not just this town, not just the water, bigger currents, unsettling ones. The old rules are thinning out." She looked back at Isabella. "But that's tomorrow's problem, isn't it?" "Yeah," Isabella said softly. "Tonight was enough." A final breeze swept through the graveyard. The brooch dimmed, her mother faded slowly, hands folded neatly in front of her. The goblins snored louder. Alyssa rolled off the bench and mumbled, "I had a dream the pug was president." Isabella didn't answer, just leaned back in the grass next to her field crew, one hand on her stethoscope, one eye on the stars. Still. Fernand of this chapter. Heroic trumpet blast, cut off by a goblin slapping it like a bug. Clipboard drop, ghost moaning, fire crackling, someone dragging a bag of tools. 8-ball, confident, gritty goblin tone. This message goes out to the brave, the weird, and the stubborn. The ones who don't run when the lights flicker, the ones who see a ghost and wave back. We're Clan Lopez Neutral Medics, a multi-species, all-realm, full-chaos emergency response guild. And yeah, we're recruiting. Our job's simple. Escort spirits, block reapers, stabilize dimensional bleeds, and carry bandages you can't buy in any normal store. Ghosts screaming, goblins shouting, "She's having a full ecto-panic." We're looking for the right kind of strange, goblins with guts, humans with heart, angels who got bored, warlocks who flunked out but still mean well, and that one kid who always said, "I'm not afraid of anything." Prove it. No prior experience needed. We'll train you in. Ectoplasmic triage, soul containment, basic rock throwing for defense, and how to treat trauma in the spiritually unstable. Goblin in the background yelling, "We need a second bucket. This ghost has feelings." We don't work for the light. We don't work for the dark. We serve the neutral path, the passageway, the one stuck in between. So if you've got steady hands, a strange heart, and no plans for a boring afterlife, join us. Slightly off-key flute reprise of the original trumpet melody. Clan Lopez Neutral Medics. We don't save lives. We save what's left.